Hi, I'm Dermot Kennedy, and this is Records in My Life.
'Cause I loved you. Does that mean nothing to you now? 'Cause I loved you.
Thank you so much for being on the show, my friend.
Of course, thank you for having me.
How's everything going?
Great. Yeah, really good. Last show of the North American tour today, so really excited.
Has the whole tour completely sold out?
Everything's sold out. I think there's a couple of tickets left for Brisbane in Australia, and that's it, yeah.
And they're sold out too.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
incredible. That's
Yeah.
fantastic. Congratulations. Let's start off, as you know, this show's all about your favorite albums and
Yes.
a couple maybe that you can educate us about. Give us one that's, it can be an old release or a newer release from 2018, which...
So there's a friend of mine from Ireland called David Keenan. He actually opened the show for us in Dublin when we played in the Imperial Theatre, and he's incredible. And I'm not sure if it's even like a full album, but he's brought out a couple of tracks just recently, and they've kind of been not a long time coming, but they're really like highly anticipated in Dublin because there's quite a buzz around him, and I think he's incredible. So I kind of, any chance I get, I just tell people about him. David Keenan.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah.
What for you is a go-to album when you're on the road? It's something you see on your, I guess, your iTunes or even at home if you want to listen to that you'd consider a go-to or flawless record in your opinion.
I think so. I'm a huge Bon Iver fan, and I think that my favorite thing that they've done thus far is that second album, the Bon Iver one, and it's because I feel like obviously the first one is quite acoustic and it's in that world, and now the most recent one seems like another step like in the other direction entirely, but that middle record just feels like musically to me it's just perfect. It's kind of like they progress beautifully in terms of the music, and then the lyrics are still has that intimacy that the first one has for me. So yeah, I love that.
Excellent. What album had the most influence on you in your youth?
It's an interesting one because I have like the people I looked up to, like Glenn Hansard and David Gray and people like that, and the reason I started playing the guitar. But then also, me and my best friend at the time, his brother was a little bit older, and he always had the 50 Cent first album on, Get Rich or Die Trying. And so despite the fact that like the musical path I went down wasn't necessarily influenced by that, it definitely was something that was kind of in my head all the time. So it's maybe got sort of like, it probably explains a lot in terms of my love for hip-hop now and how that's starting to affect the production in my stuff. And yeah, I mean, I'll never try and be that, but it definitely was what I listened to an awful lot. Yeah, that first 50 Cent album.
Okay, great. My nephew called me the other day, and he's looking for he's going out on his first date, and he's looking for, yeah, it's pretty great. He asked me about music to play, like, what's a good romantic album to play? And I gave him a couple suggestions, but he thought I was out to lunch. So since you're a little younger, maybe you can give us a bit of...
I like romantic music. I think a beautiful album is Strict Joy by the Swell Season. I know that's kind of when Glenn Hansard and Mark Henning were kind of together, and so I just think you can kind of tell nearly within that record that there's a lot of love between them, and it's like a beautiful collection of love songs. And also I listen to Volcano Choir an awful lot. I love them. And Repave, that album, I remember with my girlfriend, like at the beginning, I was just kind of listening to that song Comrade from that album all the time. And I used to sing in the car kind of a weird amount to save myself from having to talk about something, like it was, yeah. So yeah, those would be my shouts for him.
Is there a young Irish band or something another thing you've just discovered?
Yeah, absolutely. There's a guy from Northern Ireland called Kieran Lavery, and I'd supported him a few times around Ireland, and he's amazing. Yeah, it's quite acoustic, and he's got a song Leaving for America, or else it could be Left for America, I'm not sure. And it's just got this beautiful video. He's just got a really nice sort of vision, and it was one of those people who I kind of, like a couple of years ago, just asked if I could play support, and he came straight back and said yeah, and he already had the support lined up, and so he just like squeezed me in for like half an hour every night. So yeah, he cares, and I really like his songs, so yeah, he's a good one.
That's great. If you could have been a witness to a recording in a studio, and it can be any era of music, which album would it be?
Okay, hang on, let me think. This is a tricky one. I'm gonna say, actually, do you know what? I watched a documentary recently on Mumford & Sons, and they did that album down in South Africa, and they did a lot of stuff with Baba Mal and a few others, and I think they were in the studio recording in South Africa for quite a while, and it looked amazing. And so to kind of, I really want to go to Africa and kind of experience that sort of like inherent musical sort of spirits they have, and it's like, and so if I could have been there for that Paul Simon Graceland album, that would have been pretty special, I think. Yeah, because it's basically, and the songs are stunning, but just what that world brings to that album is incredible. I would have loved to see that, yeah.
That's
great. Sorry, like, regardless of where it was recorded, that's where I would have liked to be, yeah.
And tell us a bit about your latest release and the name of it. And
yeah, it's so the latest single is a song called Young and Free, and I recorded it quite a while ago. I recorded it on the way home from the first New York show I did, which was like last June, and that was when it kind of was written and first existed, and I've gone back and forth quite a bit, because it's like, I guess something that people connect with an awful lot with my stuff is lyrics, and I wasn't like, the more I progress, the kind of tougher I am on myself in that regard, and the more I kind of care what people think, and the more I kind of worry that I'm not doing my best stuff all the time, and like arguably when it matters most now, you know what I mean? And so I kind of warred with myself a little bit over it, and then just as time went on, I got more comfortable with it. I got more comfortable with the idea of even not everything being 100% perfect, and maybe just kind of like, if that's what you thought in that moment, just write it and put it out. And yeah, but it took some time. But sometime last month, I was in Mike Dean's studio in LA, and we were listening to it, and they were all hip hop guys. There was like hip hop guys all over the studio, and we were playing this song. It's got like that banjo line in the chorus, and it's like an acoustic song essentially. And they were all really into it, and it gave me a chance to kind of listen to the song as if it didn't belong to me, and I got to just hear it as a piece of music, and I sort of took all my own like unfair opinion away from it, and so yeah, it kind of gave me some space with it, and I enjoyed it. So I was just like, yeah, screw it, that's the next one.
Right. So were you working with a producer on that?
Yeah, there was a guy from Toronto actually called Stephen Kosmenyuk, and he's done some stuff with Kendrick. He's done quite a bit in hip hop and everything else as well, to be honest. We've worked together a few times now, and yeah, he's awesome. Just rather than like killing myself trying to get something brand new off the ground, I was like, I actually quite like this, and I've got tons of stuff coming, but it's like I didn't want to let that one go. Yeah,
great.
So it's fun.
Well, thank you so much for being on the show, and continued success with everything. Sounds like an exciting time.